When you say you love me, no, I love you more. Hello. Do you like my shirt? It's a Buffy shirt. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Vish, and today I'm going to be doing something new, which is a mid-month wrap-up. I thought I'd do like a mid-month wrap-up, TBR update for the month, just kind of thing every month, hopefully. It's consistent. But today, we're going to go through the books that I've read so far in January. So I'm not going to give you like stats or anything. I'm going to still leave that to the end of the month. But I'm just going to go through like the books I've read so far in the month. So my wrap up at the end of the month is not too long, and you know, I can go into more of my thoughts in two separate videos instead of one, and that video would be too long. You know what I mean? So let's just go through the books. Okay, I have my handy dandy reading journal here. So the first book I read of the year is, I'm going to scooch over here. Okay, the first book I read in January is The Red Pearl, the bonus scene from the From Blood and Ash series. So this is like just a short story of From Blood and Ash. So this follows Hawke's perspective of what happens in the beginning of From Blood and Ash. So if you don't know, From Blood and Ash basically follows this girl who's a maiden who's called Poppy, and being a maiden for Poppy is very, very difficult because as a maiden she has to be prim, proper, and she can't really do what a normal person could do. She can't make friends, she can't fall in love, she can't eat with people, she can't interact with people, she just is sheltered from the world. And Poppy is not a prim and proper girl. She is feisty, she knows how to defend herself, she wants to defend herself, she wants to stand up for herself. She is the opposite of what a maiden should be. And one day she gets assigned this guard called Hawke who has to protect her from just outside dangers. And this is a fantasy romance. You can see where this is going, and obviously there's more plot to it other than just the romance, but the romance is focused. So this little novella is essentially a scene that happens in From Blood and Ash, but this is from Hawke's perspective. And oh my god, I love this. I actually gave this, what did I give this? 8.4 out of 10, which is a 4-star. Obviously this is like only 20 pages long, so I can't give it like, you know, a 5-star or anything because it's like 20 pages, but I enjoyed the 20 pages so much just because I love Hawke. He is one of my favorite characters in From Blood and Ash series, and I really hope Jennifer L. Armentrout introduces Hawke's perspective in the third book, because so far we've only been following Poppy's head, and book 2 Poppy was very infuriating. So I really hope that Hawke's perspective is introduced in book 3. I really do hope so, but we will find out. And the second book I read in January is called In Love and in Pajamas by Katana Chetwild. And this is an arc that I got from NetGalley. This is going to be released on the 2nd of February, so definitely check this out because it's great for Valentine's Day present, because this book is so adorable. Because I read her other comic called Snug, and I remember talking about it in my December wrap-up, I think. But I loved Snug because it was so relatable and so adorable, which is why I requested this, because I know it's going to be the exact same, and lo and behold, it is the exact same. So I gave this book a 9.1 out of 10, which is a 5-star. I'm giving this a 5-star for what it is, not like a critical kind of like 5-star, like this is perfect, you know what I mean? Because for what it was, it's a 5-star. I wanted the adorableness, I wanted the cuteness, I wanted the relatableness. It's not even a word, but I just wanted to relate. And definitely, because I also, again, kind of buddy read this with Sam because I kept showing him the comics and the strips, and he loved it as well. So I really love this. This is so cute. So if you just want like a cute little comic just to read, pick this up. It's great. Again, comes out on 2nd of February, so check this out. Alright, and the next 3 books actually I read is Fullmetal Alchemist Volume 15, 16, and 17 consecutively. I don't have them because I read them like online, and I gave them all 9.1 out of 10, which is a 5-star. I can't really go into what volume 15, 16, 17 were because it's like spoilers for the entire series, so probably heard this so many times already, but Full Metal Alchemist follows these two boys, Edward and Alphonse, and these two boys want to get their body back because back in the day when they were kids, they tried to resurrect their mom from the dead using alchemy, and that didn't go as planned, and then Edward kind of lost parts of his body, and Alphonse lost his entire body, and now his soul is trapped in a metal armor. So what they want to do is get their bodies back. And in order to get their bodies back, they need to find the Philosopher's Stone. And the story kind of builds up from there, and we're at a part where it's like, you know that roller coaster where it goes up and up and up and up to the peak? So like we're almost to the peak, and I can see an explosive ending coming my way because there's 27 volumes and I'm on volume, oh crap, I'm on volume 18. Let's put volume 18 into this, shall we? So I read volume 15, 16, 17, and 18 this month. All of them 9.1 out of 10, which is a 5-star. I have about 9 volumes to go. My math is right. So very excited to finish it, but also very sad to finish it. And the second last book I'm going to talk about, because I only read 8 books and this is the 7th book. So the 7th book I'm going to talk about is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This is a wonderful, wonderful reread for me, and I think this is the exact same copy that I used when I read it in 2019. So this book is a adult romance. So in this book we're following Olive, and she is attending her twin sister's wedding. And during the wedding, literally every single person has food poisoning except Olive and Ethan. Ethan is the brother of the groom. And these two can't eat seafood, so they're the only people who did not get food poisoning. Her twin sister Amy tells her to go on her honeymoon instead because she wanted in like a giveaway, so she doesn't want to waste it. So she asks Olive and Ethan to go together and pose as Amy and her husband at the honeymoon resort. And this honeymoon takes place in Hawaii, hence why the beautiful cover. It is a hate to love romance, which is so, so beautiful. And I have to say, I thought this was smuttier from what I remember. It's not. I think it's because I read a lot more smuttier books since this. It's not smutty in this. It's a lot of sexual tension, which is great. It was very, very well done, but it's not as smutty as I would like it to be. My standards have been raised. But I really enjoyed this book because it's not just a romance. It explores like family and sisterhood, especially sisterhood, and also trying to find confidence in yourself, believing in yourself that you can do things in life instead of just saying, oh, I can't do this. I just have bad luck. It's not going to work out. Instead of actually going out there and trying and giving it your all and just doing it, just trying, just live instead of just being in this bubble and saying, no, it's not going to work out, you know, instead of actually trying to do things. So it explores a lot of that in this and not just the romance, which is why I really, really enjoyed my reread of this. So initially, when I first read it, I actually gave it a 5-star, but after rereading it, I gave it a 8.9 out of 10, which is a 4-star read, just because I basically just wanted more smut, and there wasn't smut in this. Everything else was really, really good. It was well written. It's just I wanted more smut out of this. It's just like a personal thing. So still pick it up, okay? It's very good. And the last book that I read so far this month, which is a buddy read, and that is Poison Study by Mariah V. Snyder. This is the first book of the Chronicles of Ixia series. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. And this is the first book, and I buddy read this with Abby, I'll link her channel down below, and Sam from the Discord. I thoroughly enjoyed my reread of this. I picked up on some things that I didn't notice the last time I reread this, and wow, there's just a lot of things. Okay, first of all, this book is essentially about Yelena, who is facing execution for murder, and she's given a choice instead by Valak, who is the head of security basically of the commander, and he tells her, you either get executed or you become a poison tester for the commander, so you taste his food every day to detect poisons. And obviously she doesn't want to die, so she takes the job. So she becomes this poison tester for the commander, and she gets trained in learning all these poisons and stuff like that. So that's very interesting to learn about as well. And Yelena is trying to hide a secret from everyone because she has magical powers. And magic is banned in Ixia. So if someone finds out that you have magic powers, you are executed. Just plain and simple as that. So she's trying to hide her magic powers and also trying to understand what these powers are and how they work, because no one has taught her how to use her powers. So it's all very interesting. So it has a lot of political intrigue in Ixia and also the other country, Sitia, which is the opposite of Ixia. So Ixia is like a military country that has no magic, and Sitia is a magical country. So there's a lot of politics going on between them. I know the second book explores Sitia more, but in the first book we're just in Ixia. So Yelena is trying not to reveal her magical powers. She's trying to survive because she's testing the commander's food, and someone can just poison the commander and she dies. So she's going through a lot in this book. What we all realize is that there's actually a trans rep in this that we didn't notice, or at least I didn't notice before, and this book was published in 2005. That is a big thing, at least for me, because I know back then there's not a lot of LGBTQIA plus rep then. And this one has trans rep, and this rep goes throughout all the whole series. So that's very, very interesting, a 2005 book having a trans rep. So I'm very, very proud of that, and I absolutely just love this series. The characters are so good. Janko and Ari are my boys. I love them to death. Like, I always say Janko and Ari compared to Cassie and Ezreal from the Akamath series, but I personally think Janko and Ari are better. Don't come for me. I just think Janko and Ari are better. Okay, just plain and simple. I love them to death. But yes, if you're looking for a quick YA series to just binge with great political intrigue, great magic system as well, and just great characters. So great characters, and a very heartwarming romance that is not a focus of the series, which is great as well. Like, I like romance in my books, but obviously I know a lot of people don't. So this romance that goes throughout the series is just very heartwarming and very subtle, and I love it. And I gave this book a 9.3 out of 10, which is a 5-star read. We're gonna go to the second book next month, so I'm very, very excited for that. So those are all the books that I've read this month so far. I'm just gonna touch on what I'm currently reading. So I am currently reading Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. Finally, I am on page 222, so halfway, and oh my god, I am enjoying this so much. Like, there's 2 timelines between this. Let me just explain what this is about first. So we're following, what's her name? So we're following Maggie, and when Maggie was a child, they used to live in this house, and she doesn't remember it, but apparently it was haunted, and her dad wrote a book about that house. And that book sold like millions and millions of copies. It was bestseller, blah, blah, blah. It was very, very famous. And that book kind of defined her life a little bit, and she doesn't like that. So present day, her dad dies, and she finds out that the house is still in his possession. So the house ownership is now passed down to her, and she goes to this house and she tries to figure out the truth, because she doesn't know what her dad wrote in the books are a lie or the truth, because she doesn't remember anything. So she can't really say that it's the truth because she doesn't remember, and she's the main character in that book, and she doesn't remember anything that happened. She's trying to figure out if it's a lie or if it's the truth, essentially. And oh my god, it's such a wild ride so far where I am, because it's like a slow build again to probably an explosive ending, and I cannot wait. We're like at the middle point right now, because obviously middle of the book, middle point. So much things have been revealed, but also a lot of things haven't been revealed, and you don't know who's lying, who's telling the truth, whether it's paranormal or is it actually there's like a rational explanation for this, because obviously the book that her dad wrote is a horror book. It's a paranormal horror book. And there's like ghosts and spirits and things in that book. And I like how we're following Maggie and we're finding out information as she's finding out information, instead of like we have certain information that she doesn't have. I like following along and trying to figure it out together. And this has 2 timelines. So we're following Maggie's story, and also going through the book that her dad wrote. It's called The House of Horrors, and this is like the book that her dad wrote, and you following the events of the book and also intertwined with present day Maggie. It's very, very interesting. I'm loving it so far. So going to continue, and I forgot to mention, I'm buddy reading this with Victoria from A Musical Bookworm. I'll link her channel down below. We're having such a fun time. And simultaneously, I actually just picked this up, but I am starting City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is the January pick for Shelf Space, and I'm the co-host with Jessie. I'm very excited. I literally cannot tell you what this book is about because I am literally on page 9. Like, I cannot tell you what this book is about just yet, but obviously I'll give a coherent synopsis once I'm done with the book, which will be at my wrap-up. So look out for that. I'm really enjoying this so far, even though it's like page 9. Like, Robert Jackson Bennett's writing style is just so simplistic. Like, the most complicated thing to explain to you, he just explains it so easily and you understand it just so easily. I love that about Robert Jackson Bennett, because you know when you start a fantasy series and you're like, oh, here we go, we're gonna be throwing a lot of words and a lot of things and we're gonna get confused. But no, on page 9 I am not confused whatsoever, and it's great. Can't wait to read more of this. Alright, in terms of TBR updates, so I'm already kind of reading City of Stairs. Gardens of the Moon. Don't think I'm gonna get to it this month, just because obviously it's like the first book of the Malazan series, and it's a big one, it's a dense one, and I definitely need to take my time with it, so I don't think I'm gonna get to it this month. And I have Secrets of the Starcross by Clara O'Connor, which is an arc. It's coming out at the end of the month. I cannot read it before then, just because I'm trying to pick up books that don't put me in a reading slump. And I tried picking this book up and I could feel like, ooh, you're going into it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to put you down and pick up something else instead. So I did that. But I'll definitely read it at some point. And then I have Daughter of the Salt King, which is also a arc that's coming out in the beginning of next month. I don't think I'll get to it, but I will try my best, if not next month for sure. And Home Before Dark, I'm reading that. And then that's it really, because I don't have anything else on my agenda. However, I remember saying in my TBR that I picked up Ruin of Kings. I got to page 70 and then I kind of put it down just because I think I'm not really in the mood for like a high fantasy. I was really enjoying myself and I'll definitely pick it up at some point, but I don't think I'm really in the mood for a high fantasy at the moment. So I put it down. So that is the books I read so far this month, and so far what I'm reading. That's the updates. So let me know down in the comments what you're currently reading, what you've read so far in the month that you really, really loved. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!